Hi there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 1997 Toyota Chaser Tourer S. This one here with 126,000 kilometers on it. Was bought from auction here in Japan. We're going to be exporting this one over to Florida, or Florida. I don't know how you actually pronounce it when you're from Florida. I'm from Canada. We say Florida. We'll take a look at the condition of this car. We'll compare it to the auction inspection sheet. Overall, I'd say this is kind of a lower grade. It got an auction grade 3. The body is kind of the worst part, but mechanically and interior, both excellent. Engine running condition, very good. This is a 1JZ engine. It's a 2.5 liter inline 6-cylinder, and it is a, even though this isn't the turbo version of it, this is the G-head version, which means that you have the performance made by Yamaha head on it, giving you a really, really good performance for what is otherwise non-turbo version of the engine. I will say you have a little bit of oil leaking from the valve cover gasket. You can see it on this side here if you look down in here, and a little bit on this side over here. That's generally considered to be a pretty mild problem on cars. You usually don't leak enough oil to make it a problem. I checked the oil, it looks fine. The coolant looks fine. It's Toyota's red coolant in there. And we have timing belt change at 96,000 kilometers in 2012. So 2012 was 10 years ago, and they drove basically 32,000 kilometers in that time. I'll close the hood here. I'll switch the engine off. I left the headlights on and the fog lights on just because I needed to check the lights. Looks good with those yellow fog lights at the bottom. And the Chaser, these are really good looking cars. You take a look at them a little bit closer than your average look at a car, and you realize it's a really nice looking car. Listen to that. New problem. It was trying to lock the doors. Yeah, we're not getting this actuated, actually. That did, and then it wouldn't lock it. Okay, so something wrong with the central locking. It's usually just one door is having a catch, and it's preventing it from actually completely locking or unlocking. Anyways, turn these lights off, turn the fog lights off. You can see here that we have the airbag lamp on, and we have lamps out. I don't know which lamp is out. I tested them all and I couldn't see anything. I did get on camera the brake lights, pressing the brake, but I had to be in here pressing that while the camera's pointing at it, so I don't actually know if one of those was out, but it does say one of your lights is out. Anyway, I'll give it a little rev here so you can see. And that's stock exhaust. Alright, turn the engine off. And it's a good response that you get, even though it's an inline 6-cylinder, which has a lot of stuff to turn around. These are just lovely engines. They breathe really nicely, they have a good amount of power, even in non-turbo form. It's, I think around 200 horsepower, or 190 or so, somewhere around there. I'll go ahead and translate this auction inspection sheet now. It's a 97 Chaser Tourer S. So the Tourer S is the non-turbo and the V is the turbo. There's a big difference in prices between the two of them, and there's a big increase in price for the 5-speed manual ones, because these are maybe the most popular car for drifting due to being extra reliable, lots of power, easy to tune, lots of aftermarket support, long wheelbase, and just I guess the image as well, because they're so popular in drifting. Other people want to drift them. It kind of started with the 8.6, then turned into the S chassis cars, and then when they all got used up, people started moving to the JZX 90s, JZX 100s, 110s sometimes. And so they do have a really clean and nice image that a lot of people like. And so if you're going for the automatic transmission in Tourer S, you can get it for a good discount. Good discount over a turbo version of it with a 5-speed manual, which can be extremely expensive. So you also can swap these if you want. There's a shop that does it for like $7 grand, but I'm sure that and that's for a brand new transmission. I'm sure there's also a decent amount of markup in that. Anyway, back to this. This is an auction grade 3. So like I said, it's not the greatest condition. You can look at the body diagram here. You can see there are a lot of marks on there. I'll go over that in a second. Interior C, power steering, power windows, and airbag. Again, 128,330 kilometers. The report here says steering wheel wear. And I'd say it's mild wear. I'd give it a 3 out of 10 in terms of wear, which is not bad for a 25-year-old vehicle. Airbag lamp is on, so we knew about that. They didn't mention about the tail lamp light, but that's something really easy to change. You just need to change a bulb. Dashboard comes up largely and separates. You can actually see that through the windshield. See the orange part right there? This is a common issue on many Toyotas of this era, especially the JZX 100s. And the Supras. The Mark IV Supra has that same problem. Okay, various scratches, dents, repair marks, and paint wave on the car. Door mirrors scratched, and the stand part of it is paint peeling. This is on both sides. That part needs to be painted, or new mirrors replaced on there, maybe an aftermarket mirror or something like that. I personally prefer a stock mirror on this, but I want to show you something. In Canada, where I come from, in the US, we don't have these. See, there's a line right here? It's actually a dual mirror. It's got the regular mirror here, and then it's got a concave section of the mirror here, or convex section of the mirror, I don't know which one. Anyway, it's the point of it is to give you more visibility and cover a blind spot there. I'm personally not a big fan of them. Some people like them. Many German cars do that, many Japanese cars do that too. I prefer having the mirror just one I don't know, section, one mirror image. Okay, so lastly, wheels scratched and peeling. There's actually pretty big scratches on them, but they are the original wheels, and these cars look awesome with a set of aftermarket wheels, so I recommend changing up. 18s look perfect on these. 19s I feel look a little bit big, but to each their own. Some people love huge wheels on their cars. That's fine. Front bumper A3, W3, and unclear. Front bumper is pretty weak. A3 is the biggest scratch, W3 is the biggest paint problem, and unclear paint means like non-glossy. It looks like they spray painted it. I'll show you in a sec. This side here has A3 all the way down, and it looks like they tried to polish the A3 out successfully in some areas and not in others. I think it was an intentional key on this car that somebody tried to damage it, which is really a shame. That frustrates me a lot, that people will do that to a car. And then there's touch-up paint on there, so it says paint is unclear on it. And even though they polished the scratch out, in the areas they were able to polish the scratch out, they probably worked the paint down too low. A little bit is what I think. This side here has molding is coming off. This one here, it doesn't look too bad, but because it's coming off there, like the clip inside is broken, it will touch this when you open the door. You can see it's scuffed a little bit, and you can actually pop it out if you open the door too quickly or something. I'll just show you. See? Okay. And then an AU2 over here, A2 over here, W3 over here, unclear paint, A3, U2. So yeah, this side is pretty weak. This side also has the A3 on it, and then A2 on the back. Now, keep in mind this is all the information you get on the car before you bid on it, so you bid according to that. And if there are damages like this, you can get it for a good discount over one that is much cleaner. If you intend to do the body work yourself or want something a little bit special or different on the car, it makes sense to get one that's a little bit weaker, or if that's at the top of your budget. Okay, so let's take a once around here so you can see the car from all different angles. This side here also has, this section here has been repaired from a body shop. Not very well done, and it looks like there's a bit of rust that's starting to come out from underneath that. So do take care to get that properly fixed. Okay, just go once around, and then we'll talk about some of the details and some of the damages. Okay, they still haven't cut this tree, so it's getting even more jungle-like. Walking through there makes me feel like a jungle brother. Okay, alright. There we go. Now the first time that I saw these, when I moved to Japan, I didn't know about these cars very well. You were just getting, and this was 15 years ago, mind you, you were just getting drifting magazines picking up this car, and unless you were into drifting, people usually didn't know about it. I remember seeing this for the first time thinking that they ripped off BMW's headlights because they look very much like a 3 Series of the era. But these days, I don't know, I like the E46 3 Series. I like this a lot more. And so, Toyota can steal the design and I'm not that mad at them. Okay, so front bumper has some repair marks here, some spray paint. Some areas where the paint has peeled off, a scuff there. Okay, there are a few rock chips here and there in the rest of it. And then over here, this is where the A3 is. You can see a large scratch along there. And a paint line due to masking or something. And some scuffs here as well. Okay, headlight is a little bit foggy. It looks like it's on the inside, it's foggy. And so, mosquito is trying to eat me. So you should be able to clear that up, just like this one is fairly clear. Okay, hood is good, I would say. Coming down this side, the A2, we got a big dent there. Looks like they tried to polish a scratch out there, so be careful of the paint. We have another dent here. I'd consider that maybe a medium or maybe a small. Okay, going down this side, we have a number of chips in the side bumper, all the way down. And along here, we have chips that have turned into surface rust right here, and then it's kind of dripped down, and right here, and here. Okay, more chips here. There's a scratch here, and it looks like it was a grade 3 because it had kind of been in a slide down the side accident or something. Now all the doors open and close fine, except for that bumper piece that's right there. But you can see this section hadn't been repaired. They lost the bottom skirt. You can see that it's just missing. You can see the clips there. And then this part here was repaired. So if you look at this body line here, it gets a little bit unclear when you come down here, as if this section here from here down had been repaired with a body filler. And then underneath has some rust because it wasn't prepped properly. It shouldn't be too hard for a body shop to repair that, but I recommend getting that repaired before that rust spreads. Same thing goes with this. Okay, some of the coolest looking taillights slash back end slash C-pillar in any car. I really, really like the looks of that. I feel like it's inspired by the E500. And then the back bumper has a number of areas where they've hit something and there's a scuff here as well. Okay, here's the scratch. And I'll just, I did this in the other video from the other angle, but the scratch is going to be right below my finger here. And here you can't see it, and it comes back here. And then there's a burnt section of paint there because they're trying to polish the scratch out, but the scratch is too much to polish out. And now you can see it from this angle. Okay, now besides that scratch, there's like this teeny little dent there. There's a couple of chips up here and a couple of scratches. This side otherwise looks really good. Okay, the Tourer S version comes with a different interior compared to the, what do they call? Avante? Is that right? There's a 2.5 liter version that's not the sports package. I think it's called the Avante. And you get a different interior. I think you get softer springs on the Avante and then firmer springs on this one. They're not too firm, especially for today's standards. I feel like cars in general have been getting harder and harder over time. Pop that key out. Okay, door cards look good. The carbon fiber looking panels are really nice. I don't actually know what material it is, but it's some sort of a weave with a resin. Seating position is excellent for these. You're not too high or too low. You can adjust the seat a little bit up and down, but not much. The front of it, even though it's a long inline 6-cylinder, the front doesn't feel that far away when you're driving. And it really is a unique feeling when you're driving these. It feels unlike any other car. It just feels well put together. And I don't know, I feel like if you own one of these cars, you got to watch out, because when you get any other car, you might feel how bad it is in comparison. Okay, you already saw the gauges, so I'm not going to bring those up again, but it's otherwise a black screen. You can faintly see the gauges in there. Steering wheel, yeah, it has some wear, but like I said, it's not very bad. Still feels good, and it's a good size steering wheel in terms of girth and circumference, I feel. Especially with older Toyotas, the steering wheels felt too big. Like if you've ever put your hands around an original 8.6 steering wheel, you'll be surprised at how big around those are. Okay, original CD player, original climate control AC, which works. Shifting is nice and smooth. There's a little bit of wear on here and some cracking. Okay, some cup holders here. They actually fit both the regular size cup holders and the Japanese size, regular size like 12 ounce or 355 milliliter, and then 12 ounce, or the smaller ones too, which I think are like 250 or something. Japanese coffee size. This section here has some scratches on it that should be fairly easy to address. It actually looks like much of that is just a substance that's on it as well. You can just wipe it off. Okay, no bad smells, no smoked in. Celsiors are often smoked in, so that's a nice little bonus. Has a little something attached to the dashboard. There's the bump up section of the dashboard where it comes up. I'll show you that from the other angle again. Can you see that? Maybe not. Headliner is really clean and nice. It's a nice little bonus. The trunk is in good condition too. I'll show you that. A nice large trunk in this too. It's not a hatchback, but it is nice. Show you that here. Oh, and one piece of the trim inside here is coming up. You can see it right there next to the hinge. But compared to a Lotus Elise, your trunk is probably about 7 times bigger. You can definitely fit me and Mike in here if you wanted to. And then no signs of any rust in the bottom here, which is a nice bonus. Okay, so overall, body needs some work. Nothing else really seems to need any work. Airbag lamp, but you might want to check the seatbelt receiver for that. Sometimes the seatbelt receiver causes the airbag lamp to go off. I just learned that that was a thing, so it is something to look into. Anyways, there's the end of the review here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.